And now, broadcasting from the Ohio State University on Buckeye TV, Channel 19, this is Campus View. Introducing your host with the most, it's Joel Penhorwood.
All right. Welcome to Campus View. I am Joel Penhorwood. Thanks for joining us today. We've got a lot of exciting topics to cover. First, we'll start off with something near and dear to my heart as well as a lot of students on campus. That's movies that are out and about. We'll be talking about movies that have been the past year, also some movies that are coming up and maybe we should go see them. We're talking about Buckeye Leaves, rating these movies on a 1 to 5 Buckeye Leaf system. And first, before we get into that, we'll talk about our student panel here. If you guys could, go ahead and introduce yourselves and tell us a little bit about yourselves.
Appreciate that, Joel. I'm AJ King. I'm a fourth-year journalism student here at Ohio State, and I'm from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
Hi, I'm Bree Williams, and I'm a third-year journalism and strategic communication major, and I'm from Cincinnati, Ohio.
And I'm Eric Moore. I'm a fourth-year psychology major, and I'm from Bellefontaine, Ohio.
Well, thank you guys for being here with us on Buckeye TV and talking how you would rate it in Leafs today. We'll start off with AJ. We want to talk about a movie, Straight Outta Compton. Tell us a little bit about the movie, in general, a little bit of a summary, and how many Leafs you would give it.
I appreciate that, Joel. I had the pleasure of seeing Straight Outta Compton a few weeks ago, right here on Ohio State's campus, and I must say I would rate it 4 out of 5 Buckeye Leaves. Straight Outta Compton is basically the biopic of the rap group NWA out of Compton, California, hence the name, of course. And it stars O'Shea Jackson Jr., who is actually Ice Cube, one of the lead rappers in the group. That's his actual son, and he played Ice Cube, which is really amazing. And it basically centers around the fact that NWA blew up. They were a local Compton rap group, and then kind of went big once they signed with a major label. But a lot of things happened when they went on tour as far as drama because they were not actually owning the rights to their music. So a lot of the members of the group started fighting with one another, namely Ice Cube and Eazy-E had a really big beef, and Ice Cube ended up splitting off from the group, and then the producer, Dr. Dre, ended up splitting off and starting his own rap label, and so it all kind of comes back towards the end when they all kind of realized they were being silly when they were young and they should never let money get in between them. And then the movie even touches on some very touchy subjects that touch the African American community, police brutality, to name one. And also at the end of the movie, Eazy-E is touched with a disease that really has stricken the African American community in large ways. I don't want to give any spoilers away if you haven't seen the movie. But I definitely would rate it 4 out of 5. As far as biopics go, you normally expect them to be watered down, but this one really told the truth and went after the hard-hitting facts of the story.
And those kind of movies, like you said, this one is more real than most that you see in biopic-wise as far as that goes. So 4 out of 5 Leaves from you.
4 out of 5 Leaves.
Very good. Let's move on to the next movie, Bree Williams. Now, you haven't seen your movie yet,
Right.
but you've heard a lot about it. The Intern. Tell us a bit about it and what you've heard.
Okay, well, The Intern stars Anne Hathaway and Robert De Niro, and Robert De Niro comes in as an intern at this company and is kind of exiled because he's an older man and is trying to fit in with all the younger workers and forms a tight relationship with the CEO, which is played by Anne Hathaway, and it kind of goes through their friendship and the struggles they both face working in this office together and the office environment in the new technology age that they both have to get used to.
And I'm sure that relates to kind of our age group in particular because of coming in, especially with social media and things like that, teaching some older people how to do things, right?
For sure.
So excited to see it?
Yeah, I am. I think it'll get 4 out of 5 stars as well. I think it's going to be a great movie. It's got a great cast, and I'm really looking forward to it.
Very good. And moving on to our final panelist for our movie review today, Mr. Eric Moore. Eric, tell us a little bit about the movie you went and saw earlier this year and more about it.
Well, this year I went and saw the movie The Visit, and I brought in this wonderful horror film by M. Night Shyamalan. It's basically about everything that could possibly go wrong when you go to visit your grandparents. And so for a while it's like you're not quite sure whether they're just aging and going completely insane through Alzheimer's or whether they are just straight up insane. And it follows the story of these two kids who are, it's this the daughter's mission to get kind of forgiveness for her mom because she ran off when she was younger and had her 2 kids. But so it's all about this visit and how crazy these grandparents may or may not be.
Sounds good. And how many leaves would you rate it?
I would give it 4.5.
Really, really. Now, anything that kept you from getting right onto that 5, that perfect movie, or just you can't give that to a movie?
Well, I can't do it because I just do not believe in a perfect film. But I do think this one is the right mix of scary and quirky.
Now, do you like horror movies? Is that kind of like your genre that you really aim toward?
I do. I absolutely love horror films. I will actually spend a whole weekend watching them on Netflix and usually either enjoying them or making fun of them.
Sounds good. So 4.5 stars for your movie, 4 out of 5 stars for Straight Outta Compton, and yet to be really seen for your movie, The Intern.
Right.
So thank you guys so much for your luck at those movies. This has been getting your Buckeye Leafs for movies around campus. Some things to go see, some things that have been seen, and maybe you should catch up on those when they come out on Netflix, hopefully in the coming months. You're watching Campus View. I'm Joel Penhorwood. This is Buckeye TV.
Welcome back to Campus View on Buckeye TV. Let's take it back to your host, Joel Penhorwood.
Welcome back to Campus View on Buckeye TV. We're back for another segment here and talking this part about your favorite apps, your must-have apps for those Ohio State students who are always on the go and always looking at their smartphones or mobile devices. So to talk about this section, we're going to go to a new student panel here. If you guys could, go ahead and introduce yourselves a little bit. Tell us about yourselves right down the road here.
All right, I'm Samantha Hendel. I am a third-year strategic communications major, and I'm from Buffalo, New York.
Hello, I am Twain Frazier. I am a fourth-year comm major, and I am from Bucyrus, Ohio.
Hi, I'm Mahek Rohr. I'm a theater major, and I'm from Dayton, Ohio.
Wonderful to have you guys on Campus View here today. Let's talk a little bit about those must-have apps from your guys' perspective. Samantha, we'll start with you. Tell us about one app in mind that you kind of have and your really go-to one that you want to talk about.
All right, so one app that I recently downloaded is called Pocket Points. And what it is it's kind of to help students keep off their phones during class. So you have to be on a campus for it to work, and there's a bunch of universities that are doing it. And you open the app, and you just lock your phone while you're on campus. You could be in the library or in class, and the longer you keep it locked, the more points you accumulate. And you can use the points to get free food. They have a bunch of places around campus you can use it. There's like Wendy's, Subway, and then there's also like clothing stores. You could get like percentages off of your order with the points. So that it's basically just a way to keep students off of their phones and give them a benefit for doing it.
Have you found yourself been able to pay more attention to like class and things now that you kind of have more of an incentive to keep your phone
Honestly,
locked?
yeah, definitely. I've been keeping off my phone. I put it in my backpack so I earn the points and get free lunch.
Gotcha. Now, how much does this app cost?
It's free.
Oh, that's great.
Cost, yeah.
So for all of you students out there, that app, again, name?
Pocket Points.
Pocket Points. All of you guys out there want to get some points for keeping that phone locked, that's definitely the way to go.
Absolutely.
On to Mr. Twain. How are you?
Good, I'm doing great.
Okay, let's talk about the app you have in mind.
My app is an Eat Street app. It's like a mobile food app. There's even a website for it, eatstreet.com. You use it, there's always like special food deals going on. Like last week, Pizza Joint had like $1.99 large one-topping pizzas. A bunch of pizza places do that. PJ's is always on there doing like $1.99 sandwiches and everything they got. And then after like you place 10 different orders on Each Street, you usually get like a $3 or $5 off coupon. So I mean, you could go anywhere and get $5 off a coupon, and I think it's like one of like the must-have apps for college kids because it helps save money and you eat cheaper that way.
Mm-hmm. Have you found yourself using it more on a regular basis now?
I don't really use it on a regular basis, just like when there's like $1.99 pizzas and stuff like that, just because it's cheap, and where else can you get a $2 large pizza at?
Now, free app?
Oh, definitely free, yes. And you can go to their website and order from there as well.
Gotcha, gotcha. Awesome, sounds good. Definitely something for people to take a look at. Let's go ahead and take a look at what kind of apps you have in mind for those must-haves.
I think the best kind of apps are the ones that synchronize the easiest with your computer. So my favorite are Evernote and Google Calendar. So in Evernote, you can take notes on your computer and it'll synchronize right to your phone. And it's like very simple. There's like nothing like too fancy about it. It's just like, it just synchronizes your notes from your computer to your phone like very easily from this app. And the second one is Google Calendar. And it's the same way, like not only does it synchronize on your computer and your phone, but through your Gmail account if you were to have one. So it's a really cool way to stay organized and just keeps things very simple and I never forget anything.
Now, for that sort of thing to happen, does you have to have a certain computer to go back on? Like, do you have to have an iPhone and a Mac, or can you use it on anything?
I think for Google Calendar, you should have an iPhone, but for Evernote, it doesn't matter.
Gotcha. So definitely something you would recommend for kind of that professional as well as student household.
Yeah.
Sounds like. Now, looking over there, is there anything you guys would look at as far as other apps that you have in mind? Maybe not those must-haves, but things you use on a more regular basis. Now, not talking about your messaging and your mail app, or your Facebook, but other apps that you think are kind of unique to your phone, maybe that you have found, maybe an ESPN app or something like that.
I definitely use Pinterest. That's something I always use, and Snapchat,
Gotcha.
which are both free.
I downloaded the MLB app to keep track of like all the Indians games, and especially coming down to the playoffs now, but a little late for that, so that's not going to happen. But free app as well.
Well, next year, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I use an app called Sleep Cycle, and basically, like, the alarm in that app is set so it wakes you up when you're in your lightest sleep mode. So, like, sometimes, like, if you're in a very deep sleep, like, that alarm won't go off, so it won't wake you up in the middle of, like, a really deep sleep. So I think that's very helpful.
Now, I've heard about apps like that. They kind of figure out your circadian rhythm and your whenever your REM sleep is. And,
Yeah.
and as far as that, does it take a time to really make sure, it's really listening to your time, so like a setup period for your life?
So what you do is you put it under your pillow, and it tracks your movements, like when you turn around and like whenever you move around at night, like it tracks that. So it takes like a week to get adjusted to it. So, but after that, like it's a pretty cool way to see like when you're in your deepest like sleep mode.
Gotcha. Where do you guys download all these apps? Now, do you each have iPhones or do you have an Android device?
Yeah, I have an iPhone, so it's pretty easy. You can just go right to the apps app, and you can either search it, or a lot of the times they have like suggested apps for you. So you could just go right on there and download it.
I do the exact same thing. iPhone, go to the App Store, and usually look in the top free section for the best free apps.
I normally download them from my MacBook actually, and it'll go like right onto my phone, but I just kind of like going through the App Store on my computer.
Right, definitely multiple ways to do that. Now I'm going to ask you guys to use your imagination here for a second. What would life be without a smartphone? Pretty much since our freshman years, right? We've been using a smartphone on campus almost 24/7, probably stay on for that time, track our sleep like that one app does. What would it be like without it? What do you think life would be like? A little more boring maybe?
Honestly, I think I would pay a lot more attention in school if I didn't have a smartphone. But my smartphone keeps me really organized, I think, also. Helps me keep a to-do list and know what's going on.
I use it pretty much all the time, especially for like going to school, catch bus rides, and know my school schedule because I usually forget what time class starts. But not having it, I think I could get used to it because I would just have to print out a schedule and stand and wait by a bus route more often.
I'm sure it'd be hard, but I still think we're one of like the last generations that actually grew up for a while without a smartphone. Like most of us didn't get these things until like late high school, like early college. So like we still like lived a pretty long life without it, whereas I think somebody younger than us would have a much harder time. So like I think we'd be okay.
Gotcha. And other apps that are kind of big out there, has anybody used a Tinder app here? Have you guys used Tinder?
I don't want to admit that. I've heard of it.
Okay, yeah, we've all heard of it, right? All right, so thank you guys very much for joining us here. So in wrap up, your kind of must-have app?
Pocket points, definitely.
Eat Street.
Evernote and Google Calendar.
Very good. So those of you listening, go ahead and take a look at that on your smartphone. Maybe go ahead and look at the App Store and download those to make your life as a student a little bit easier. You're watching Buckeye TV. This is Campus View. Come back next time for a little bit more.
Welcome Welcome back to Campus View on Buckeye TV. Back to your host, Joel Penhorwood.
Welcome back to Campus View. This is Buckeye TV, and I am Joel Penhorwood. This segment, we're talking about career aspirations. Now, students at Ohio State University is definitely something on our minds, and for our panelists here today, our student panelists, definitely something they're wanting to keep heavily in mind, as two of them will be graduating very soon. So, if we could, go ahead and introduce your guys' selves, a little bit about yourselves, your name, and what you think the audience should know.
Well, hi, my name is Stephanie Enlish. I'm a second-year zoology major, and I am from Huron, Ohio.
My name is Trent Lammers. I am a fourth-year strategic communications major and a minor in professional writing, and I am from Cincinnati, Ohio.
And I'm Sam Hollingshead. I am a fifth year in journalism, and I am from Columbus, Ohio.
Well, thank you guys for joining us here on Buckeye TV. We'll start with you, Stephanie. Tell us a little bit about your, first of all, career aspirations. Where do you see yourself 5, 10, 20 years down the road? Take as much time as you want, because it's a deep topic.
All right, well, my ultimate goal, basically because I came to Ohio State, is that I want to be a veterinarian, and I really hope that I will attend Ohio State's veterinary medicine school. But that's the ultimate goal. As a kid, I always wanted to be a movie star, and I'm not going to lie, I still kind of want to do that. But so I have two goals. I'm trying to work in both, but we'll see what happens. But this summer, I went to Costa Rica, and I volunteered in veterinary clinics down there in underprivileged communities. So I feel that I have that was hands-on experience, and I really loved it. So I know I'm doing what I want to do. And I also had an internship at a wildlife rehab center back at home, and that was a wonderful experience as well. And I fed baby skunks and baby opossums every day. And I also worked at a zoo as a show host. So I love working with animals. I want to specialize in exotics. So hopefully one day I'll be a zoo vet. But it's pretty stressful too, because vet school is really challenging to get into. So I have to really build up my undergrad years and make myself the best candidate and stand out from everyone else. And if it doesn't work out, maybe I'll be a movie star.
Coming from an agricultural background, I can tell you really the importance of veterinarians is quite in need at this time. And they say that getting into vet school is actually a little bit tougher than medical school, and then the dropouts head on over to the Wexner, right? So that's a rumor. I don't know if that's true. Let's go on to Trent. Tell us a little bit about your career aspirations and what you see yourself doing.
My biggest career aspiration right now is I definitely want to work in entertainment. I want to do either PR or marketing for the entertainment industry. Right now I'm looking at two of the biggest studios, so Warner Brothers and Paramount or Sony Pictures. I was actually in contact with Warner Brothers Studios last year for an internship position that I actually didn't end up getting, but I made it through the second round of interviews with them. So where I stand currently with them is I'm going to try to apply again for a spring internship, which then if I obviously got that, it would delay my graduating a little bit. But I've been in contact with them, a couple recruiters and people in the departments that I would be working specifically in. So I mean, if nothing else, I would, hope to get a job there, something entertainment related. I've had 2 internships so far, one at WOSU, TV and radio station over on Olentangy and 614 Magazine and U Weekly. And I'm also interning at WCBE radio station next semester, if I don't get the one at Warner Brothers, obviously. But that's definitely my biggest dream job right now. Like I said, I have a couple contacts that I plan on using to my advantage for sure when the time rolls around to apply again. But we'll see. I'm really excited. Graduation is coming really quickly, so I'm kind of stressed out because I don't want to just work any kind of job. I want to work my dream job. I'm sure as everyone else wants to out there. But I'm patient as well, so I know that if it doesn't happen right now, it'll probably happen in 5 or 10 years. So an
exciting time, I'm sure. What kind of made you want to go into the entertainment industry?
That's a great question. I've always been really interested in entertainment. I mean, in high school, I did drama. I've always just kind of been into that kind of stuff, and I also just I like music. I like movies, so it's just something that I feel I could really channel my passion and my studies here at Ohio State into something that I could produce a lot of positive results with.
Gotcha. Well, best of luck to you. Sam, let's move on to you. What would you like to see yourself doing here in the years after your graduation?
Well, I'll be graduating in the spring, hopefully. All plans to graduate. I am actually working as a photo editor over at The Lantern. So I'd love to do that. I'd love to continue that. I really love taking photos and maybe not being a photo editor, but being a photographer for a magazine. My big dream would either to be a Pulitzer Prize winning photographer or to be the next Annie Leibovitz, who's a very big photographer. She shoots a lot for Vogue. So I'd love to, work for magazines like Vogue or Rolling Stones. I'm really into concert photography. And I always thought I wanted to stay in Columbus. Grew up in Columbus my whole life. But I think more and more I want to travel, maybe make it out to LA or New York or even, down south somewhere. And Nashville's a great place to take photos for concerts, a lot of country and rock around there. So I'd love to be, in a magazine that allows me to travel, or even a newspaper, see the world. And, I wanted to be a marine biologist for the longest time because I wanted to be able to be in the water and swim with animals. And so I think maybe, getting into that and doing some underwater photography, maybe exploring some deeper water stuff and, figuring out a camera system that can go deep down and have great lighting and explore some new creatures down there.
A very unique skill set with regards to photography there in general. Do you feel like the working for the Lantern these past years has helped you really figure out that you do want to do that?
Oh yeah, definitely. Photojournalism was always just a dream, but now it's kind of a reality. And so it's definitely given me an insight of what it is and what it requires, and that's been really great.
I'd like to get your guys' thoughts on advice to those freshmen or maybe those that are coming into Ohio State that will be coming in next year. Since we got some class of 2016 and then some future graduates, what do you guys think you would say to those freshmen or maybe those freshman selves of yours, those first-year selves, advice you would give them and where that could lead you today?
Any advice I would give incoming freshman or even to my old self, because I had a really hard time my freshman year struggling with these challenging science classes at Ohio State. So my advice would be, don't freak out, when you're overwhelmed with college stuff, everything will work out in the end. And a lot of kids, ended up dropping out of our Gen Chem class because they were so overwhelmed. But, my advice to them would just be, stick it out, give it at least a month, and just, you can do it if you put in enough work and stay calm. And don't freak out. And if you have a goal, just strive for it. And don't let the classes here or the teachers scare you away from reaching that.
Perseverance goes a long way. Trent, if you could give us a quick little rundown of what you would say to freshmen.
Yeah, for sure. No, I actually wrote an article about this for U Weekly magazine when I worked over there. So I love this topic. But my biggest piece of advice for underclassmen and especially the freshmen is don't waste your time here. 4 years goes by really quick, and I don't think that. It's college is a balance between your professional self and your creative and fun and expressive self. So I think that you should have fun, go out, but also make sure you really take advantage of internship opportunities, networking opportunities, and really reach out to people at Ohio State and professionals in the work field, because 4 years comes quicker than you know it, and it's going to be graduation soon.
A healthy mix of both is definitely beneficial,
Yes.
sounds like. Sam, any advice you would have quickly?
Yeah, going off of what Trent said, make as many connections as you can right now, especially with, just introduce yourself to people in the field. And, people are always really great to help, teach you and provide you with other connections, and that goes a long way.
Wonderful. Thank you guys so much. Thank you for your thoughts and your topic and really putting yourselves on the line and telling us about where you hope to go and what advice you would give to yourselves and others out there. Thank you guys. That's talking about career aspirations here from the Ohio State University. You're watching Buckeye TV. I'm Joel Penhorwood. More next.
Thanks for tuning in to Campus View on Buckeye TV. For today's final topic, let's go back to your host, Joel Penhorwood.
Welcome back to Buckeye TV, and a big thanks as we're on our final section here to our wonderful student audience. Give your guys selves a round of applause. There we go. Very good. For today's final topic, it's sort of interesting as it's not a specific topic, so these guys are not really prepared for what I'm going to ask them, which makes it kind of a fun time. So before we jump into that and kind of what's on your guys' mind, tell us a bit about yourselves, introduce yourselves, and what all you'd like the audience to know.
Well, my name's Jesse. I'm a fifth year here. I was a communications major. Now I am an English major. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I pretty much go here. I'm trying to get out of here in the spring, That's pretty much, I guess, what everybody needs to know.
Very good.
Yeah.
I'm Rita Halley. I am a third-year film studies major, and I'm from North Canton, Ohio.
Wonderful.
I'm Natasha Anderson. I'm a third-year theater major, and I most recently lived in Shaker Heights, Ohio.
Well, there you go. Thank you so much. And Shaker Heights is home of Bill Watterson, cartoonist from Calvin and Hobbes. Fun fact, here, only found on Buckeye TV.
Good to know. Good to know.
So thank you guys for joining us today. Let's talk a little about, first topic, what are your guys' plans this weekend? Keep it family safe, and let's go down the line.
Well, keeping the family safe, I'm going to start Saturday morning off by going over to COSI. I work there on Fridays and Saturdays. Saturday mornings, I do this thing called Surge, where we actually get a bunch of teens in between the ages of 12 to 19, and we have them come in and we teach them things like Photoshop, Dreamweaver, all of the Adobe type of packages like Premiere. I know last week I actually just taught this kid Edge Animator. If you don't know what Edge Animator is, it's basically like a video game type of app or program, I should say. It basically makes you manipulate images if you want, or you can actually make characters and then take that into an After Effects program that we also have. So, and we also have some cameras that we allow the kids to like go out and make their own type of videos. So, plus we actually created a YouTube channel this semester. So if you want, you can go on to WOSU Public Media's Surge and watch a couple of our kids have videos up there. Yeah.
Sounds like a complicated sort of start to the weekend for you.
It's not really that complicated. When you get started into it, it's kind of like, it's a lot because you're like, whoa, there's so many apps going in, but it's pretty simple. I mean, it's pretty awesome. The kids come in and they're super excited. It's insane to see how like they're just ready to go and how much they want to get more done, you know.
Thank you. Rita, what are your plans for the weekend?
Well, I have a horrifying pile of laundry at my house. So I should probably get that done at some point. What else? I'm still waiting to hear back if I have to work. I work at Ethel and Tank, so I might have to work for the game on Saturday. If not, then I'll definitely watch the game. And I'm thinking I might go to German Village on Sunday with my one friend for breakfast. I've never been there, so I thought it might be cool. And I'm not going to say I'm going to Bullwinkle's, but definite possibility.
Well, German Village is a pretty cool part of Columbus there. So now, are you the kind of person that when they do laundry, they wait like for months on end until they have no more clothes left?
Okay. It's bad.
Definitely a student syndrome here at Ohio State. So, Natasha, let's move on to you. What do you think you'll be doing this weekend?
Well, compared to my friends over here, my weekend's pretty boring. My birthday was last week, so my best friend is flying in from Philadelphia, and my parents are taking us to dinner. So, woo.
Wonderful. Thank you guys so much for telling us a little bit about your weekend. Move your hair on the mic here a little bit. Now, let's talk about you guys, Ohio State football fans. I mean, I think it's a requirement, right, since you're a student at Ohio State University. How do you think the Buckeyes have been playing so far this season? Start with you.
I mean, do you want me to be honest?
I mean, yeah, sure.
Well, honestly, I don't think they've been that good. Like, I mean, it's 4-0. We're still number one, and I mean that's great. But it took them 3-4 weeks to really figure out who's their starting quarterback for the season. I mean, their defense has been lights out, so that's been really their bright spot. But that offense is really starting to scare me a little bit, and kind of hoping that Ohio State doesn't pull anything like Florida State last year and go undefeated and then barely get into a playoff at a number 3 seed. You know.
So now, Rita, you've got Big Ten tickets, is that right? And so you'll be really attending these games pretty religiously probably for the rest of the year. Excited to see what the Buckeyes have in store, maybe improve from their previous games?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, obviously a win is a win, but I'd like to see a little bit more of a, proud moment for us. So yeah, really excited though.
Very good. Natasha, your thoughts on the team so far?
I'm pretty lucky. I get to watch the games from the sidelines, so it's been good, but I think we could be doing better by a lot.
Very good, very good. And so, I think I'm getting the signal back there from someone who says, let's go ahead and move it on to the next question here. So, tell us a little about your guys' favorite part of Ohio State campus. I want North Campus, South Campus, east of High Street, west of High Street, which would be, Ohio State University there, or anywhere else in between. Tell us about your guys' favorite part in your years at Ohio State.
Well, I don't know. Being a fifth year here, I went to Newark for my first 2 years. So, I mean, if you've ever been to the Newark branch, it's very small, very nice going to. It's about 5-6 buildings total. Then I came here to main campus for my last three years, and I don't know. I just immediately first year I tried to get everything kind of all caught up in my traditions like right away. Like I did the Mirror Lake jump. I went and kind of started doing the Thompson, like touch the top of Thompson's head for good luck. And I kind of started to like go around the oval, the South Oval. Started to see Kennedy's Commons and places like that like a lot of people typically go to. But I also tried to go off campus as well and see if I could find like some restaurants like Dirty Frank's or anything like that.
A lot of traditions to have here at Ohio State. Quickly, in maybe just a couple of words, what are you guys' favorite parts about campus?
Honestly, it depends on the season. I love the Oval in the summer, Oval Beach. I love Mirror Lake when it's getting cold out and off campus.
Go ahead, real quick.
Food. There's so much to eat.
Very good. Thank you guys for joining us here on lending us your thoughts on what's going on for the Ohio State student. This is Buckeye TV Campus View. I'm Joel Penhorwood.